Hey everybody, it's the Trout and welcome to another episode of the Trout Show. Thank you so much for stopping by. You know, in all the years I've interviewed musicians, which has been dozens and dozens of them, majority of them have been performing for decades. They've been doing that, they've been recording, getting Grammys, doing songwriting. Some of them are very well known that I've spoken to, but it's rare that I get to talk to somebody that literally is starting out on their career in the music business. And that's what we have today. A friend of mine out of London sent me a message, said, hey, you need to check this new artist out. And I did. And I said, whoa, I need to talk to her. She's out of Ipswich, England, and her name is Amy Allard. She only started writing and performing songs in 2022. This is 2024 because she decided she had a message to say to people. And she got her guitar, started writing, doing open mic nights. And all of a sudden, people said, ooh, wait a minute, who is this new artist out there? She started recording and releasing music, and now she has a band. She has new music out. She just released a brand new song. It's coming out on June 1st of this year called Villain. The thing I liked about Amy was that she's new. She hasn't even got started that much, but she's already garnering the attention of people over in England, which is really cool. She's getting ready to play in a lot of different festivals over there, and she's really generating some interest, which I like to see. So if you want to know about an artist that someday will be famous, I believe, stick around and listen to this episode or watch this episode of The Trout Show. Coming up next with Amy Allard. That's next on The Trout Show. Are you concerned about your financial health? Then why don't you count on an expert that has years of experience of helping people just like you reach their financial possibilities? That's David Smith with Edward Jones at 469-372-1587. David has years of experience of helping people just like you. So reach out to him today, 469-372-1587. David Smith with Edward Jones. What's interesting to me about you is the fact that you haven't been doing this very long, have you?
No, not really. I started singing and songwriting, learning instruments, guitar and piano at the start of 2022. So it's all still kind of new to me. I think it was never something I thought I could do growing up, to be honest. I
Right.
didn't think I was very good at music at all at school. And I felt like I didn't have, I always wanted to do it. Like it was my dream to be a singer like Taylor Swift, but I felt like I didn't have the confidence to, and I also felt like I wasn't good enough. And there was kind of the kids that were good at music, and then there was like the rest of us, and I fell in the other bracket. I think because I was seen as more, I don't know, academic. It was like music wasn't something that was encouraged, but
Right.
yeah, but I found it was after COVID, and I went through a bit of a tough time with anxiety and things like that, and then
Yeah.
I turned to journaling to help with that, to cope with my emotions, and that then turned into lyric writing. And I thought it kind of led me back to that childhood dream of, oh, okay, being a singer-songwriter, perhaps like could I dare to dream and do something like that? And so finding the courage to learn instruments and things and learn how to sing and share my lyrics and put them to music as well. And I remember the first time I said to my parents I was like, I'm going to a singing lesson today, and they just looked at me like, what?
What's wrong with her?
I know, they were
I
like,
take it
and
neither one of your parents are musically inclined.
no, no,
Oh,
they're
okay.
not.
Yeah.
My brother is though. He's an amazing pianist. He's so good. But I don't know where he gets it from because our parents aren't. It's not really in the family.
You started out at the beginning. Now, had you played, I mean, at the beginning, had you just started playing guitar or you picked it up before or what, did that all come at the same time too?
Yeah, I played a bit in school, like for a few months and things, but like in music lessons and things like that. But it wasn't something that I stuck with. Do you know what I mean? It wasn't
Yeah, yeah,
something
yeah.
that I felt like it wasn't my thing, and I
Yep.
needed to stick with what I was good at. And it was, yeah, but I'm so glad that I managed to kind of find that part of me again, and it really has helped me so much, like doing music. And I've met so many amazing people and had opportunities and experiences and things that I never would have done. And it's not just helped me, like, it's really exciting, like going on this journey, like following your dreams and stuff, but also with my confidence as well. Because, like I say, I've really, really struggled with low self-confidence and not feeling
Mm.
good enough and not feeling like I deserve to be there or deserve to be seen or heard. And it's really helped me to become more confident, like speaking in front of people, doing things like this. And I think that music, it's not just kind of restorative for like mental health and things, and it's not just it's amazing fun, but it's also really good for confidence, and it just can help people and kids and stuff in ways that I think other people don't realize.
Obviously cathartic for you, being what you've gone through, and you pretty much have this. And my wife asked me this when we watched talent shows on TV, where it's American Idol or something. She said, and the judges are always saying, move away from the microphone. And they're not playing an instrument, they're just stand up singing. And I told her this, and you know this, you play guitar. There's something about that. And she says, why do they want to move? I said, there's a barrier there. It doesn't look like much. It's a little piece of metal, but it's like a huge barrier between you and the audience that gives you comfort. Same way with the guitar.
It's true, isn't it?
When you put the guitar on, it's something that it gives you a barrier, especially with somebody like you that you're starting out.
Mm,
And then the other part for me is when, like what you're doing, is then writing lyrics that are really more, you're not telling a story, you're telling a story about yourself. Do you think now that you've been doing it for a while, you must have a feeling though that now as you go down, and I looked at your bio and read about it, that there's probably something in your mind saying, I think I'm supposed to do this now.
yeah, yeah, I think so. I think so. I want it so badly, and I'm so driven. And I think it's, I mean, you have bad days where you think, oh, I can't do this, I'm no good. And then you have days where it just feels like you can't imagine yourself doing anything but. And I mean, I just adore songwriting. It's probably my favorite part of it. And that feeling of excitement and everything when you just get these ideas and it's like, oh my gosh, it's so exciting. And you just feel, yeah, you just go into that creative zone. And I think sometimes I'll be so in it. And then, so if someone knocks on the door or someone like, oh, I'm like, no, I'm in the zone. Like, don't
Go
disturb me.
away. I understand.
But yeah, it's been so cool. And I mean, I'm very hard on myself. So I probably don't like, I don't know. I think it's important to take a step back and think, oh yeah, I did good there, or that went really well. But I'm not really like that. I think I'm like, right, I need to do the next thing. Like I've done this, but I need to do something better. And it's always, instead of reflecting back on what I've done, perhaps, I'm too focused on where I'm not and everything I want to do. But I think, yeah, it's been cool. And you think you might not be getting anywhere, but then you're like, wait, I'm doing different opportunities, meeting new people, doing bigger gigs, like having a different network. Like you're slowly leveling up. And I think it's a combination of like tiny steps that just add up over time. And then it's not till you look back and you think, oh my gosh, like this time last year I was doing this and now I'm doing this. And I think, yeah, probably take a step back and be like, okay, you did good. You create and you have nothing, and then you end up with like this finished song, or it starts from an idea. And I just think that's just amazing.
It's an amazing thing. And then what
Mm,
happens if you're lucky, when you're performing, they start singing your song with you.
yeah.
There is nothing better than that. And,
Wow.
well, getting a royalty check for $1 million would be good, or maybe that would be okay too.
Yeah.
How have you been able to? I've read some reviews on you and all that stuff. Have you just been accepted? I mean, because I don't know what your gig situation or what you do to go out, I mean, with your style of music, but how have you been able to get exposure for people like you just mentioned, meeting more people and getting more places to perform? How does that come about for you?
Yeah, I suppose it's come about with just reaching out to people, and also I've just got together a band as well, like a backing band. So I
I saw
think
that
that's
you're looking for a drummer, like, was that last month or something like that?
Yeah, we managed to find, I found one because I had one before, but there's been a few people in and out, but I
Eh,
suppose I've been
you'll be
told
doing
that's
that a
the way.
lot. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. And so yeah, so we've got our band now, and I'm really excited for that. So that's enabled me to, apply for festivals and things and get bigger slots that I wouldn't have had before. Because obviously it just really elevates the songs as well. Because quite a few of the songs I released are kind of piano ballad based, but I've been working on some like more upbeat, poppier ones and stuff with a new producer, which has been really exciting as well. And I've done a few co-writing sessions with people as well, which has also helped me open up like my network because the guy that I co-wrote with had a mate who was in London, who was a producer, and it enabled me to work with someone who I wouldn't have met if,
It's all about
before.
networking. It really is. It's all about networking.
So that's how sort of managed to do that. Sometimes being asked to do stuff and things. And I think it is just about knowing more people. I mean, I started off going to open mics and things where you just turn up and
Hmm.
play and perform three songs and that's a really, really good. That's where I started off like performing and this community was so good. I was so nervous about going, but everyone was so nice and I was really, really good as like a first like step into performing in music. And then do like half an hour gigs and then I did a few festivals
Hmm.
and things last year and like the acoustic stages, but now with the band get to go on the bigger stages and things, so it's really cool. I'm excited for it,
I feel the energy from you. That's what I love. I love it because um, a lot of people I interview have been doing it for decades. Um, the funny thing for me is when people do it for 50 years and they're still doing it, and
Mm.
you wonder why. And it's because they love it. And the thing I
Mm.
like about someone like you, Amy, is the fact that you're not driven by the almighty money. You want to make money doing it, but you love what you do. So if you get an opportunity to perform, it's like, oh great, let's go.
Mhm.
And that I think equates to people know that, and they see it and they go, okay, you're just a pure artist. You're not up here to figure out, oh, my next gig is this one. Oh, I'm going to do this festival. We're going to make 10,000 pounds this time. It's like that's not what you do.
No,
And you
no.
also appreciate everything that's happening to you,
Yeah.
because before you did this, what were you doing?
Well, I was running my own online jewelry business and I still do that
I'm
now
sorry,
because
what
I
kind of
left
business?
online jewelry
Oh,
business.
jewelry. Okay, okay.
Yeah, yeah. So that's what I was doing. I mean, I'm still doing it now. Like that's my like day job. But 'cause I left, I left sixth form in the UK. I think is like high school in America. But I left there and I wasn't quite sure what I wanted to do. And this was like just after COVID and stuff. And I felt a bit. I didn't know if I wanted to go to university or what I wanted to
Hmm.
do. And that was when kind of like COVID happened and the anxiety and everything. And that's when. I always thought I'd probably end up going to uni and like being a journalist or something like that. But then it kind of went through this bit of a bad patch. And so that kind of threw that off. But then it reconnected me again with the music. And I think had all of that not happened, then it wouldn't have put me back on the path of what I wanted to do. So I'm really, really glad that I didn't my childhood dream wasn't abandoned and just forgotten about. And then I
Well,
would have,
you have to take a chance. And almost
yeah,
everybody I talk to that have been successful took a chance. And I tell people they take a risk, and I said it's not like getting in a car driving 120 miles an hour. It's you take a risk.
yeah.
When you walk up there and you're in an open mic night, that's a risk
Absolutely.
because you have no idea. Now, I will tell you a little trade secret, and that is when you walk on stage, people want to like you. It's your job
Yeah.
to make sure they continue to like you when you're finished. So nobody goes to these things and go, I hope the next person's terrible. They go to them and go, wow, who's next?
Yeah,
So I always
exactly.
thought about that when I played and performed was, okay, they like me from the moment I step on, but I got to make sure they continue to like me. And
Yeah,
that
that's
means you
so
got to perform.
cool.
I mean, isn't that true? I mean, because,
No,
and
thank
you
you.
took that
Yeah,
risk and now you take other risks. And the fact that you put a band together and you already got a producer, I love that. You already got somebody helping you out. Everybody needs those people in their life.
yeah,
More importantly, is they believe in you.
yeah.
They wouldn't be in your band if they didn't believe in you. Your
Yes.
producer wouldn't be producing if they didn't believe in you. So
Yeah.
you can kind of pat yourself on the back for that, knowing that's what they're there for.
Thank you. Yeah, I often struggle with like, especially working with the new producer and things, and it's like, oh, he's worked with artists that have got like more streams than me and more Instagram followers, and it can feel a bit like I'm not good enough. And
Yeah.
but then you're like, no, I deserve to be in that room. And I remember someone said to me, if you're feeling, if you walk into a situation and you're feeling like you might not be good enough to be there, or I don't deserve to meet this person, or whatever, and always what he tries to do is try and make that person think that you are so excited and such a fan of what you do to make them into a fan of you, and so just to have that enthusiasm that they become a fan of what you do even if you're feeling like you don't deserve to be there. And I just thought that was really cool. I'm trying to
It's
do
it's a
that.
wonderful place to be, and it's also a tough place to be. Because I tell people when they're getting in the business, I always tell them when you bring out music, I don't care where you put it at, streaming, radio, I don't matter. I just say it's like just turning around, putting your derriere in people's faces and say, kick me. Because either they like your music or they don't. And it doesn't matter what genre you do, always people are somebody's going to say they don't like you. That's just the
Yeah,
way it is.
yeah,
So
yeah,
I always try to go to the people, and this is takes you a long time to get past this. I don't care whether people like my music or not now. I just do it. I know I'm good enough to do stuff. I think we always want to aspire to be better all the time. And that's what's great about what you're going to find out. 2 years from now, you'll look back and go, wow, I was doing this, but look how I'm doing this now. Because you'll
yeah.
understand when you go in the studio and you'll start hearing those voices in your head that go, oh, a flute would sound good over here. That's what producers go. You need a little more 12 string on that, right? And then you'll
Yeah.
look back on it and go, how much you've grown. I was going to ask you real quick, where do you live? What city or
I
town
live
do you
in
live?
Ipswich in Suffolk, so it's about like just over an hour from London.
And of course, I was around when the Beatles came out, and we all went the same way. Why do they talk that way, and then they don't sing like that? We all, it's like, what happens to their voice?
Mm. It's so strange, isn't it? You can't really tell accents when people sing. It's
No,
really,
no.
no.
Unless you're singing country, and then you got to go, hey, you got to do the
Yeah,
country
true.
thing where you do that and all that stuff. I just think that in your situation, you're at the beginning of a journey that's going to be so much fun.
Yeah, yeah, I'm
Um,
so excited.
and you've got people already around you. Now, tell me a little bit what I looked at some of the stuff. What have you recorded, and what are you planning on doing? You've got some stuff that you've done. Or where are you? Where have you been, and where are you going to go?
Yeah, so I've released, I think I've got 5 songs on Spotify, and quite a few of those are piano-based songs. But I've released last month, I released my latest single, How Could You Ever Know, which was kind of like my first sort of like poppier beat track one. And then I feel like I'm in like a new era now, and like working on more upbeat, like poppier songs, which is cool. I feel like that's the direction I want to go in. And yeah, got another song I'm going to release next month, which I'm really excited for. It's a song called Villain, and it's kind of like it's very different than what I've done before. So it's kind of like pop rocky, but it's all about kind of this jilted fairy tale gone wrong, and it starts very like it starts with the lyrics like once upon those moonlit nights. So it's kind of like this story about this
Hmm.
guy that we thought was Prince Charming, and he turns out to be like the villain. And I wanted it to really tell a story in that song, and it's probably the lyrics that I'm most proud of. And then I'm working with this producer on another song, and a song called Switzerland, which I'm so excited for. I've teased a few bits of that on the socials as well. And yeah, I'm going to be recording some more tracks with him next month too. So I think I'm going to work on 3 of those. And what I'm trying to do is really release a single a month, and
Yeah.
then in a few months like release an EP, and then work towards an album and things, because I think I've read that it's better to kind of drip feed singles rather than just putting out like a whole album and doing it that way. So yeah, trying to release as much as possible and do that. But I feel like I write so many songs, and it's like, oh, I've only got 5 on Spotify. Yeah, I've written so many, and it's almost like, oh, I need to get more out there. But then I end up piling more pressure on myself. But then, yeah, I'm just excited to to share more music and different kind of music as well. So
Do you write what's your favorite key to write in? Everybody has a key they write in. I can tell you what mine is, but what's your favorite key to write in
I
that
do
your
quite
voice
like
you think is perfect for?
I like the key of A, and also I like
Mm.
A flat. How about you?
I write all this stuff in A, but now that I'm doing instrumentals, I'm just all over the place. It doesn't matter, and I'm always
Mm.
constantly looking for different chord patterns that I could put guitar parts over it. And do you record there locally? Do you have somebody you could go to their house or a studio?
Yeah, so I had been going when I working on the first songs that are released. So go to a local studio, so it's in Colchester, so it's about like half an hour away. And
Hmm.
then also the new guy that I'm working with, he has a studio. He lives in London, but then he has a studio here as well, like Colchester way. So I just travel like half an hour to go and do that there. But I've just bought a mic actually, so I can record better demos and stuff at home because like I've
Hmm.
just been using my iPhone, but I feel like I need to get more of a understanding of, recording and equipment and all sort of things like that. I mean, I have been using Logic and stuff, but I was always like, oh, I like songwriting, I want to be a songwriter, I don't want to be a music producer. But then I'm like, that all just feeds into each other. And I think,
Yeah.
I remember someone saying before, you might not think you're being a music producer, but you actually are. I find myself saying like, oh, can we turn this down? Can we turn that up? Like, can we add this in here? Like, can we
Yep.
do this? And it's like
Yep.
you're doing more than you actually realize.
That's what you do. When you write a song and and record it, you're producing because you're writing that.
Yeah.
And what was this thing about when you said that? Do you remember the first time you went in the studio and stood in front of the microphone and had to
I
sing?
do. I was terrified. I was so scared. Yeah. See the pictures as well. Like I got him to take some pictures afterwards, and I'm just got a dopey grin on my face.
It's very intimidating.
It is.
And the other thing that's weird about it is you never sound like you do to other people. So you have to get over that too. When you listen to the playback, you're going, I don't sound, it doesn't sound like you because
No,
it doesn't.
no,
And
it's weird.
yeah, apparently it's all to do with acoustics in your head. That's what it's all about.
Yeah.
Because when you sing or when you talk, you got the acoustics of your head and all that stuff. And then when you listen back, you're like, who's that singing? And you're
Mm,
like, that's you.
yeah.
And that's the other thing you have to kind of get over with. Have you got plans for any festivals or gigs or something like that? I mean, that's obvious. That's why you put the band together. So tell
Yeah,
me a little
yeah.
about the music scene where you are. Or I mean, you guys apparently have a lot more festivals than we do here in America. We have local county fairs and stuff like that. But tell me a little about your music scene over there.
Yeah, I think it's a good like local music scene, but I mean we're doing our first gig together. I mean I've done a gig with the band, but that was with the old members, so this is with the new members. We're doing a gig on not this Saturday, next Saturday, which is like a local like music festival in a town called
Mm,
Stone. So we're really excited, but like I say, I only met them all 2 weeks ago, so we're like trying to nail down the practices. And obviously original material as well. It's like, but we'll get there. And yeah, so we've got a few other gigs booked in and festivals. And I think what I'm looking for us to do next is like support slots for smaller
mm,
for artists, up and coming artists. But I think the thing that I need to work on, which I'm trying to, is like growing my social media and growing my figures so that like big
yeah,
opportunities come and stuff like that. I think that's the key really. But yeah, there's the local music scene is good. And like I say, I started off with the open mics and things and doing local gigs in like pubs and bars and all sorts of stuff like that and local festivals. And it's actually really good. And it's really nice like when summer comes and the sun is shining and you just go to a
yeah.
festival, like music in the park. And I did one Ipswich Music Day last summer, and that was on the BBC stage, and that was amazing. Like there was like thousands of people there, and I just couldn't believe it that I like that old little old me was there. But that was really cool.
Now,
And
did
then
you
the
have a
Ipswich,
band or did you play by yourself?
that was just me. I opened up the stage, so it was just
That's pretty
me.
gutsy, isn't it?
Yeah. Oh gosh, I've never been so terrified in my life. That was. I was like backstage in the tent with mum, and I was like, I am so nervous. And then I was like, oh my gosh, on my way, like I went to the toilet beforehand, and there was this big like stick, like this big twig, like it was huge, like in the ground. And because I was running around like getting myself, trying to run to the toilet because I was worried I was gonna miss my slot, I like tripped over and nearly went like face first. So that was a bit, then I wouldn't have ended up doing it, but at least I was fine. So yeah, and then I did the Ipswich fireworks as well. That was in November, which was really good. And there was a lot of
So
people
when
there.
you're walking on stage, your mind is probably going, "Why am I here?"
Yes,
There's a
yes.
point where you're just like, "Should I just pretend like I'm not really here and pretend, oh, the next act will be up, or do I just keep going?"
I
But that's
know.
where you've gone too far. I'm here now.
I
And
know.
then you start playing, and then people go, they like what you do. You're like, "Oh, okay." I think this is my personal opinion about it is someone like you that's young and attractive, you're going to attract people anyway, and you're talented, but just putting stuff out there all the time as far as your Instagram and stuff like that, that drives more people to you. And
Mm.
to me, I know it sounds silly, but people kind of want to see what you're doing.
Mm.
I saw the one, it's been a few months ago where you posted where you were standing in front of the little booth thing and you were recording, it was at outtakes or something like that. I think people want to see that. I don't think they
Yeah.
care about, this is me, I don't think people care about what you ate for breakfast. But
No.
when it comes to your craft, how do you do stuff?
Yeah, it's
See, the
interesting,
average
isn't it?
person doesn't have a clue.
No.
A C chord to them is like a B flat augmented seventh for us. So they don't
Mm.
know.
Yeah.
And so as you get bigger, and the other thing, and I'm going to just give this is take your advice whatever you want to with it, but the thing that I would suggest if you haven't, get somebody to do the promoting for you.
Yeah.
Don't do it yourself
No.
because you'll never have the credibility that and you're emotionally attached to it, right? So when you're going up to some big festival in Manchester or wherever you go, and you're like, man, I really want to get this gig. Well, you're emotionally attached to it. When if you have somebody, even if it's just a friend of theirs calling out, it makes a big difference. I'm representing Amy. You should just go by Amy. Amy. Who's Amy? It's Amy. Just one name.
Mhm.
That makes a difference. I had a band one time. They understood that and they actually made up a fake name and sent out emails under a fake name so they get people to they like. I said, who's representing? We do it ourselves. We just use a fake name, like a fake management company.
Oh my gosh, that's such a good idea. Yeah, because it makes you look more, I don't know if
Well,
serious is the right word,
yeah,
but
you
yeah.
become professional.
Yeah.
I mean, and I'm sure there's a lot of people over there that probably would not manage, but get you booking gigs. Of course, you get paid. You have to pay them to do it, but still, it's hard because I had the same problem here. I was trying to book us all the time, and my band was like, "How come you get book us?" And I'm going like, I'm doing this, and you're doing the other business too. I was president of a company. I'm going to. But have you got a pretty good plan for summer then of things that you might hopefully get to perform at?
Yeah, so I've booked in a few. We've got a few festivals and things as a band, and then I've got some on my own as well. I think the thing is with the band, it was a bit thing because we did our very first gig together in February, but like by that time applying for festivals, so I could only kind of send our footage of because obviously they want to see footage of you like performing. Then so I was a bit late for the festivals for the band this year. We
Mm.
have got some, but that's why I mean it was just the time that we got it together, but yeah, so I'm hoping to release more music over the summer and also, like I said, for support gigs as well, like in live music venues, because there's quite a lot of ones around here and there is quite a lot of artists and things. And I've been performing and doing gigs in London, got a few of those coming up and
That's
different
great.
showcases. So yeah, it's really good. Nice to go to different areas when you play in the same area and the same things and just
Yeah.
trying to branch out and go to different places.
Well, and the thing about being over there, I tell people this all the time. It's easier. Well, you're in the UK. You could go all over the UK,
Yeah, yeah.
and then you're not that far from going to Europe.
No, no.
It's easier for you to do that, and then you have a lot of gigs over there, and they're all close. You go to America, it's like 3,000 miles from one gig to the next. Like, holy crap. That's why they do it at a circular, but it's a lot more work and a lot more expensive,
Mm.
you know. So is your band have a name or you just go by your name?
Yeah, so it's my name and then it's Amy Allard and Band. So it's like we do my original stuff, but then covers as well. So
What kind
it's
of cover? I'm just curious, what kind of covers do you do?
well, it's I one of the songs that we were gonna do for our gig coming up was Angels by Robbie Williams, and then Girls
Hmm.
Just Want to Have Fun. That one was really good. Then Bruno Mars, because the festival that we're playing at is one that's kind of like a fun
Hmm.
festival. So it was like we want songs that people know and things. And I've heard someone say to me, "Don't do covers that are." uh oh no, no, that are like younger than you or someone that you want to be like. So if I was like to do a Taylor Swift cover, like that's probably not a good idea. Or like if a ginger kid with a guitar was going to walk in and like I'm going to sing Ed Sheeran, then immediately people go, come ask him with like wanting to be like Ed Sheeran. Do you know what I mean?
How much do you get involved with the recording process? I mean, you don't want to become a recording engineer. That's a whole different ballgame. But you're already starting to say to people, "This is what I like, and this is what I don't like."
Yeah, yeah. And I think learning to trust my opinion and even in like a studio setting and with production and stuff and yeah, there'll be a producer there, but then like I say, it's kind of it's my song and I hear the vision of it. So I think sometimes I'm like, oh, could we just add this in? And then you sit back and it's added in, you're like, I'm so glad I spoke up and added that in because it really adds to it. So the other people don't always know best, I think. I mean, I'm very willing to listen to feedback and to learn and to grow.
Sure.
And if someone who's more experienced than me, says like makes suggestions, I'm like, oh, okay, yeah, that makes sense. But then I'm very willing to kind of adapt my ideas. But then I think if you feel strongly about something, and you feel like, oh no, I think this should be in there, then you should trust yourself, even if you're not like the most experienced person in the
Yep.
room.
And also, if it succeeds, you go, I did it. And if it doesn't, you blame yourself. Have you got merch decided? Have you got merchandise figured out yet, or are you working on that?
No, no, I'm working on that at the moment. I mean,
You
what I
need,
am
I'm
doing,
telling you, merch is where people go. When you get up
yeah.
there, and and this is the other thing, I don't know about the UK, but Europe, they're still listening to CDs. I don't know if they
Mm,
still listen to them
not really.
not really, but in Europe, they still listen to CDs. People want to buy stuff.
Yeah, yeah, it's very true. Yeah.
Get your friend, they buy some shirts, put somebody get a logo, put them on them, put your logo, put your picture on it, whatever you want to do. People buy that stuff. And
I
what's
know,
great
it's
about it is
really,
never forget, that's free advertising for you.
yeah, that's true.
You
Yeah,
know,
because no, yeah. Hmm.
I mean, I was in a band a long time ago that we had a guy who was a marketing guy. He worked for an advertising firm. He drew this really cool logo. People would say they met people in different towns. Hey, look, you got a shirt like mine on.
That is so cool.
I mean, the way people make money now is touring and merch. That's how they do
Yeah,
it. And there are
yeah.
places that I'm sure over there, but there are places that you can do to on-demand printing. But when you go to a
Yeah.
gig, you want to have them right there
Yeah, I need to do that.
because people are going to, and there's nothing sad. There's nothing wrong with getting up there and here's my, go see Ginger. I want to keep calling this person Ginger. Ed
I
Sheeran's
don't want
brother
to be
down there.
embarrassed.
Ed Sheeran's brother down there. He's got all the merch. We got great t-shirts down there. And one last thing before I tell you, I want to get off here. I don't want to take all your time. Is meet and greet your fans.
Yeah.
It's always the right thing to do because it never goes wrong. When people come up to you and they say, what'll start happening to you? Can I get my picture taken with you? Of course.
Oh, that's so.
It's going to happen, Amy. I'm telling you.
Yeah, I had one. I think it was a man and a woman at the fireworks thing I did, and they were like, "Can I have a picture with you?" I was like, "What?" It was so sweet, but yeah, I love talking
I
to.
tell people this all the time. It's a ride. You're getting on the bus to go for a ride, and you need to enjoy the ride where you go.
Yeah,
And
absolutely.
when people come out, now there's a certain level you can't do anymore. Obviously, Eric Clapton doesn't go out and meet 16,000 people, but
I
you
know.
didn't have to. But that moment when you walk out and you walk off stage and people are coming over and they want to talk to you, that's because they like you. And if you're nice to them, they're going to remember that. And they're going to say, who's that picture with? Oh, that's Amy Allard. Yeah. Who is she? Oh, you got to go listen to her.
Yeah. Uh-huh. Oh, it's so cool, isn't it? I'm actually doing a fundraising campaign for War Child
Oh,
to,
gosh darn it. Just real quick, tell me about that. I saw that
yeah,
and that was
so
one of the first things I was going to ask you. Tell me a
yeah,
little about
so
that.
I went to London a couple of weeks ago to film like a live music video to raise money as part of Hotvox, which is like a promotions company in London in the UK, to raise money for War Child. So I've done this video and we're fundraising. It's gonna premiere on the 21st of May, so next Tuesday. And it's like a half an hour set of me playing my songs, and it was really, really cool. It's a great experience to film, and people can donate and they can win prizes as well. So I've like listed some things that they can win and like signed stuff and then gifts and jewelry and all sort of things like that. So it's yeah, so
Now,
they
does it
can
go up on their web? How do people find it?
yeah,
I
so
know
they
I
can
went to their website and looked. I'd never heard of that NGO before, but that what they did, and I saw it. Does it go on
yeah.
theirs, or how to make sure whatever that is? Make sure you send that so I can make sure people can go there.
Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, it's if you click the link in my bio, I will send it to you, but they click the
Okay.
link in my bio and it takes them to my fundraising page and it's got like the donation links, it's got a bit of information about me and all sort of things like that. But I've been promoting it. I first announced it today and put some things on my stories and then on my Instagram feed and things like that. And I'll just be continuing to promote it because I think the fundraising page is open for 3 weeks. So it
That's going to
closes
ask
on
you how long it was. Okay, 3 weeks. All right.
4th of June. So even after the video, people can donate. So really excited to be a part of that and to raise money for such a good cause.
It's a
Yeah,
sad
just
thing that we have to have that, don't we?
it is. It is. Yeah.
But human beings will never stop fighting. That's the unfortunate part about it. So it is. But God bless you for doing that because that's a great thing to do. Well, that's it for this episode of The Trout Show. Thank you so much for tuning in or watching. We appreciate it very much. Very special thanks to our guest today, Amy Allard from Ipswich, England. And if you want to know more about her upcoming career and want to hear more about her music, go to her Instagram site, Amy Allard Music, AMYALLARD Music. And that'll take you to everything else that she has out there. Once again, a special shout out to our supporter, David Smith with Edward Jones. Thank you, David. And if you want to find out anything more about The Trout Show, you always go to our website, thetroutshow.com. Find out more about all our podcasts that are out there, or you can watch us on YouTube, or music that we released. It's all right there. And let me tell you something. If you're listening to this right now, we have a very, very special episode coming up. You don't want to miss it with a Grammy Award-winning guitarist. It's going to be exciting, folks. So until next time, remember what I always say. It's only rock and roll. But I love it. See ya.